8 ex-Navy personnel sentenced to death by a Qatar court in October will face commuted punishment. This is a huge relief for their families and for the country. Several of them highly decorated military personnel who once commanded Indian warships and were working for a private firm providing training and related services to Qatar's armed forces. The Indian government has said it is in close touch with the legal team as well as family members to decide on the next step. Well, let's go across to Vishnu Shom for more on this story. And Vishnu, tell us, what is it the families are now deciding? They're going to be filing appeals immediately.
That's right. I believe the process of appeals may already have started today, and the families, it is welcome news, of course, that their loved ones will not, they were sentenced to death, and that is no longer the case. That death sentence has been commuted. But the process now is difficult. From what we have learned, they face very extensive, long jail terms, and these jail terms are different for each individual. We are waiting to get more clarity on that, other than the fact that the family is telling us that they are very, very substantial jail terms. So they are going to appeal that. They are still hopeful that the Emir might actually remove all the charges, grant them a pardon, all of them, and hopefully get them back to India. But that process is going to take time. Before that, there is another process of appeals in one more court. It's only after that that the Emir can begin proceedings or decide to involve himself. Whether he does so or not is anybody's guess. It's great news that, they are no longer facing the shooting squad, as it were. But whether they, come back to India, whether this is actually lifted is something we'll have to wait and see. Now, there is another important aspect here, that India has an agreement with Qatar whereby they can actually be brought back to India to serve their jail terms as well. Is that something that is being explored? We don't know right now. But one final point, the process of further appeals will be about 3 months before the Emir can be involved. And that is the hope, of course, of the families and so many in India. Remember, the Prime Minister reached out to the Emir of Qatar on the sidelines of the United Nations Summit on Climate Change recently in Dubai as well.
All right, Vishnu, thanks so much for joining us there with all the latest.